So this first verse, these lyrics are super interesting. I actually like them a lot. Uh, and to the point where I would say I think they're easily the best lyrics of the song, and they accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. So let me just read them out real quick, because there's only like 4 lines. He says, "Watching Evangelion with a big fat slug of ketamine. I lost the plot a little while ago. Oh, my dog just died. My friends hate me. I saw myself on MTV, and my ego is not my amigo." All right. So first off, watching Evangelion with a big fat slug of ketamine, right? Uh, I normally think stuff like this is corny, right? Like stuff that kind of references pop culture or whatever, um, and drug references. I think they're usually like I think it's a cliche. I did a breakdown of Ordinary by Alex Warren a few weeks ago, and the fact that he's like talking about his lover and he's like higher than ecstasy, it's like, oh my god, grow up, but in this case I think it works perfectly. So the song is called Lost, and that it's what it means is like you're feeling hopelessly lost in your own life. Mentally you're lost, emotionally you're feeling lost. It's capturing that, and so this first line sets up the scene of like a drugged up individual sitting around watching old anime, um, which again, if you want to portray somebody who feels lost, that's a good way to do it. You're doing drugs and you're watching old TV shows, because if you don't know, Evangelion was an anime that came out in the 90s. It's a pretty popular one. I actually just watched it this year. It's a pretty good one. So yeah. Also, I do want to mention that he uses the word he says with a big fat slug of ketamine, and I really like that. I'm a big fan of like using words to create imagery, as long as they fit, right? Like you don't want to just force it in, but like it's kind of like poetry, right? Like your words are actually what set the scene. You don't have the benefit of music when you have poetry. So you actually like if you're reading a poem about the woods and you want to set the scene of the woods, you're not going to talk about the water on the lake, right? You're going to talk about the rustle of the leaves and the crackle of the branches. You're going to use these words that evoke the woods. So in this case, it's like he didn't have to say with a big fat slug of ketamine. He could have said like a big fat hit of ketamine, or whatever it is, right? But by using the word slug, I think that it still implies the tone of the lyrics, which it creates that image of a slug, right? Like the person himself is a slug sitting around doing drugs watching anime, right? So yeah, I think it's actually intentional, so it's cool. I like stuff like that. He then follows that line with "I lost the plot a little while ago." I think that mostly could be seen to reference his personal life. Like you've just lost the plot in life, right? Um, but I I also think, funnily enough, it could reference what's happening in the show. So that's like the double entendre, right? Watching Evangelion with a big fat slug of ketamine. I lost the plot a little while ago. It's like that. It has a double meaning. He could be seen to just be talking about the show and how he's lost the plot, which funnily enough, if you've actually watched Evangelion, especially like the last 2 episodes, the plot just goes like off the deep end. It's absolute nonsense. They had to make a movie a year later to actually resolve the story, because the last 2 episodes of the show are so like ridiculous. But the main thing here is that he's talking about how he's lost the plot in his life. He doesn't know what he's doing. So yeah, it's a fun kind of playful little double entendre that works.